Hey guys, James Arstead, Eagle Eye Photos. Wanted to give you a video update of our latest shenanigans. So this is the DJI M300, which is the latest enterprise version of the big drone they make. It's got a camera on it that we're testing out today, out the side window of the Cardinal. If it works well, we'll incorporate this camera from about here on down into our camera pod. And I'm with Logan Noas. Hey Logan.
What's up?
Logan's with Vertex Unmanned Solutions. Logan sells these and other drones. How many of these have you sold this year?
Oh, quite a few.
Like 40?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what does one of these things cost if you buy the whole package with the batteries and the camera and all that stuff? Roughly. Ballpark?
Ballpark around 30,000.
30,000. So it's a pretty awesome tool. I hope it works. So that's the optical zoom. That's the wide angle lens. That is the thermal camera. And then this is the laser rangefinder right there. So the plan is to hold it in my lap somehow and point it out that window and see how it works shooting sideways over there. So I tried to hold it in my lap while flying the airplane, and that didn't work very well, so we recruited some help. At this point in the video, I hope you're impressed with what you've seen so far. I can tell you I've been fiddling around with camera systems on airplanes for about 12 years, and I've never seen a camera gimbal perform like this one. So I'd like to give you a little background on this. So I started making these gimbals before you could really buy any semi-consumer or even professional grade camera system that was affordable. So this is the first one I made right here. It actually went on the belly of my blimp. This is before drones, and so this of course was not stabilized. So this second camera system I made, this is the first one I made that had a stabilization system, and it was sort of jerry-rigged using some RC servos and the tail rotor gyro from an RC helicopter. And this allowed me to get some video footage from the blimp that was somewhat stabilized. And then from there, I think I've bought almost every gimbal that's come out since 2014. Be embarrassed to tell you how much money I spent. But I've tested them all out, and they all have their own issues, every brand, every type. And one of the reasons I'm so impressed with the H20 is, number one, its ability to automatically track very well objects on the screen. It automatically detects people and cars, and then if you wanted to track a particular area, you just tap on the screen what area, and it does a really nice job tracking that automatically. So that's huge. The second reason I'm impressed is, of course, the zoom. Now, if you're not impressed with the zoom, I need you to show you the wide angle lens here on this particular scene as we orbit these boats. And as it switches, watch on the controller when we switch to the wide angle, and there you can see how far we are out from that boat, and then we can zoom back in for perspective. And until you get that perspective, it's really hard to appreciate this footage. So there is still a little bit of jitter in that. I'm pretty sure most of that is just from all the wind in the cabin that was hitting the side of the camera, causing some jitter there. A third reason why I'm so impressed with the H20 is the minimal horizon drift that occurs when the aircraft's turning. So one of the big problems with most gimbals is they have what's called a Mem Imu, which works fine on the ground, but if you get it in a moving vehicle or even worse, an airplane, the sensors and the computers have a hard time keeping the horizon level because they get a little confused during turns, especially when you're pulling G's or you're accelerating or decelerating quickly. And the H20 has held the horizon much better than any other gimbal I've used while turning. If you get the settings just perfect and you know how to fly the airplane on other ones, you can get that down as well. But I'm very impressed with the IMU on the H20. Another thing I'd like to explain, just to put this in perspective, is the physics of what's going on here. So we're in a moving platform that's moving on all three axes. Our pitch, our roll, and our yaw are constantly changing, even on very small amounts. We're traveling at about 90 miles an hour. We are in a turn, and anytime we turn an airplane, we're pulling some G's, usually 1.2 to 1.4 G's, depending on the turn and turbulence. So we're on this incredibly dynamic moving platform with a whole bunch of vibration. We've got harmonics from the propeller, and we've got harmonics from the engine, and that being transferred from the front of the airplane all the way back. We also have some airplanes, some aerodynamic flutter, and so whatever type of anti-vibration system we have on a camera pod has to account for all that. And as I developed the camera pod that I currently have, vibration mitigation was by far the hardest part. It's about 80% science and about 20% trial and error trying to get the vibration out. Little rubber anti-vibration mounts for most of the drone gimbals work pretty good for the drones with 4 propellers, 4 electric motors. But when you transfer that to an airplane, you have to have a different way to get rid of the vibration. And that'll change based on whether or not it's a 2-bladed propeller airplane or a 3-bladed propeller airplane, or if it's a 4-cylinder engine or a 6-cylinder engine, or even if the timing isn't quite right on the engine, or maybe you've got an induction leak and one cylinder is missing ever so slightly. That can cause some airframe vibration that will show up when we really start to zoom in here. So if you are in the market for one of these, if you could give me a call or shoot me an email, I can give you a quote. We're working on the FAA certification for getting a STC, which is a supplemental type certificate. We're going to hopefully have that for Cessna 172s, 182s, and Cessna 206s. And most foreign governments will honor an FAA-issued STC, so we can sell this internationally. If you want to join our mailing list, I'll have the link and phone number and email in the description below. So thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.